Hi, this is another installment of the Clinic Talks with the Colonel Clinic. Today, I want to talk about jealousy. So, as we did for the first video, I'm going to start with the definition first that I found on Google. So, the definition goes as is: jealousy is an emotion, and typically the word refers to the thoughts and feelings of insecurity, fear, concern, and anxiety over an anticipated loss of status or something of great personal value, particularly in reference to a human connection. That's my first. The second one I found, it's maybe more of an explanation than a definition, but I thought it would be important to have the two there to kind of put a contrast. So I found it on the website psychologytoday.com, and it's saying jealousy is a complex emotion that has many different kinds of feelings, ranging from fear of abandonment to rage and humiliation. Jealousy can strike both men and women when a third party threat to a valued relationship is perceived. It can be a problem among siblings competing for parental attention or envy after a more successful friend. Conventional wisdom holds that jealousy is a necessary emotion because it preserves social bonds, but jealousy usually does more harm than good, creating relationship conflict and strife. So, the one thing I will say about those two definitions, or maybe as I said before, the first definition and the second is more of an in-depth explanation of what jealousy is. The one thing I will say that I don't agree with is saying that jealousy is a necessary emotion. It's not. It's an emotion that we have when we feel something we value might be lost because someone is trying to take it. But what we need to realize is if we take both examples, either siblings competing for parental attention or there's a third party that might distort a valued relationship that we have with someone, is the fact that it's a feeling that we have. It's not, but maybe it doesn't mean that it will actually happen, what we perceive as being of danger or maybe the destruction of a relationship. And that's one. And second, if that person decides to act a different way because now there's a third party involved, or maybe they feel like, okay, I'm your brother or I'm your sister, like I will get the more or the best favors from mom and dad or grandparents. Well, that's on them. So the one thing we need to keep in mind when it comes to things like that, when it comes to conflict, is first of all, we can't be blaming people for what they want to do. So if I'm in a relationship and a girl feels like, okay, I can go outside the relationship and and perhaps find someone else, well, that's on them. So if it's on that person, you need to let that person go, because especially if we talk about loving relationship, if you're with someone and all it takes is someone else to come in the picture and for them to leave what you guys built, well, ultimately that person is either A, didn't really like you, or B, is simply someone that jumps from relationship to relationship trying to find the best deal. And it's not something that you want to be associated with, because those people usually go around running after relationship to relationship, maybe to get better uh, social status, maybe more money, but ultimately it's a vain quest, because you're always gonna find somebody that's more rich. You're always gonna find somebody that's better looking, or somebody that talks better or plays sports better. So the one thing we need to remember when it comes to stuff like that is, we need to be happy with what we have and what we have to offer. And of course, we have to strive to get to try to get, of course, perfection, because perfection, although it's not something that we can get, but aiming for that perfection will give us excellence, which is as good. So jealousy is really something that's not needed, because if you're jealous, now what you're going to do is do everything in your power to hold on to something that doesn't really want to be held. Or if it's a competition between, I don't know, you and your sister or your cousins, well, the resentment will come from the fact that maybe they get better treatment or whatnot. But the only thing you can do is try to aim for the stars, try to be better, because being better will get you the praises that you need. Now, maybe not from the person that you need, but ultimately you're gonna have a fulfillment about yourself. You're gonna be happy that you were able to achieve those goals for you. You're gonna feel better, maybe more money, or maybe more opportunities will come on your way. So it's really just a question of understanding that jealousy is not the way to go. It's definitely not the way to go, because ultimately what you do is that you focus what's going on. So you take the focus, sorry, from you, which is something that you can modify, to now changing that to I'm a victim of a situation. And being a victim in a situation, the only issues that I have with that is a victim is not wrong. So if you're a victim, not only you're not wrong, because of course you're the party that was, that had the issue, or you're the party that maybe is suffering from the situation. But at the same time too, being the status of a victim, nothing is expected of you. Sorry, nothing is expected from you, because now it's, well, I was wrong, therefore that person who wronged me should fix it. Only problem with that is that there's no advancement when it comes to just sitting around and then waiting for people to fix it. So jealousy is the same thing. If you're jealous and then you're like, oh, I'm envious of what that person is doing and whatnot, now you put yourself in a position where you don't advance. You're not trying to get more money, or not trying to get better at sports. You're not trying to be better looking for you. All you do is you wait and you say, well, that person is either trying to get out of a relationship or have a bunch of girls stalking too. Like, I have a man, and then, you know, why is there a bunch of girls or a bunch of guys trying to get with my man? I don't think it's normal, and I want to make sure that he's not doing anything. But what you need to understand is, I don't understand why you're not happy with the fact that you're with that special someone that other people want, that other people recognize that, yeah, you have something that we want, and then you're the one who got it. So why are you not happy with that? Why are you not happy with the fact that, hey, I got something valuable in my hands and I need to value that relationship? Okay, this is what kills relationship, is the fact that we get jealous about everything. We don't communicate, and on top of that, we don't live for the moment present. Because if we start swooping around trying to find clues so we can accuse our partner of cheating or doing this and that, you're not living your life. You're doing yourself a disservice. Now, I'm not condoning people cheating or anything like that. But if they do, it's on them. It's not on you. Okay? That means that, ultimately, if they cheat, they gave you an opportunity to find something better, to find someone that will appreciate your presence, appreciate what you have to offer, appreciate your beauty, appreciate um, you know, everything about you. But this is why your logic needs to take over your emotion, because the first reaction to anything, uh, even if someone says to you, well, I think that your boyfriend or your girlfriend is cheating on you, you of course the first reaction will be maybe sadness, maybe you'll be mad, but we need as people to take the reflex of just thinking ahead and saying, okay, well, if that person's doing that, I gotta find my exit strategy. I gotta make sure that I'm okay financially, emotionally, to move on, and then let that person doing whatever they need to do. Because if, let's say, if you do find out that somebody is cheating on you, the best way is to break it off, and then not in like a, crying and being mad and then throwing things at that person. No, it needs to be a clean break. It needs to be very settled. You're like, okay, well, you were cheating on me, therefore, I'm not gonna be able to trust you uh, in this relationship, and therefore I'm gonna end it. And the reason you want to do it that way is because now the focus is not on your hands anymore. The focus turns to that person who did you wrong, and then it gives them time to think, right? Because we all know those scenarios where now, you're mad, you're over the top, and then you scream and you do this, you do that, and then you give that person more justification for themselves and for other people to say, well, maybe I was doing this, but this is what I had to deal with. That person is crazy. That person is lunatic. That person doesn't, they have mood swings. They're happy this one day, they're not happy. And then I couldn't deal with that. And this is why I did what I was like, I did, which is ultimately something wrong. So, in conclusion, I would say that, jealousy is really not something that we need. It's really something that we gotta focus on, not letting dictate our lives, because once it does, now you're blinded by anger. You're blinded by, well, that person must be cheating. I must find out. But ultimately, it's not something that you want to find out. Okay? It's really something that if it gets to push and shove, you need to get out of this situation. Okay? Do a clean break. And then, even if you have to cry or even have to be mad or break a few plates, you do it on your own time, alone time, where no one is watching, and then you do it. Because at that point, you'll be able to not only move on, but at the same time, too, you gave that person a lesson that now they have to think about their action and then think about missing you and then missing your presence, missing the fact that you were good for them. But that person is not going to miss any of that if you went completely berserk, you went crazy, and then you started yelling, started calling people names and all that. So be careful when it comes to jealousy. It's not a healthy feeling to have. It's not something that you need in your life. And if you do have tendency to be jealous, you need to remember that the logic needs to be applied, which is, it's not my fault that this person went out and cheated, or that person is better than me. It's the fact that they decided to pull those moves. If that person decided to cheat on you, it has nothing to do with you. If that person is more successful than you, then it's because they took steps that you weren't willing to take in order to advance the careers. Okay, and then maybe it's some illegal stuff, maybe it's some legal stuff, but it has nothing to do with you. Okay, so if it has nothing to do with you, please remind yourself that the only thing you can control is you. You can't control other people. And I know people will say, well, yeah, you can. If I say right, then, the girl says right. Or if I ask my boyfriend to do something, then he will do it. But that's not control, because ultimately what it is that person recognizing that if I do what someone is telling me, it's going to go better. So it's not control. It's more of like a loving thing where, if I have a girlfriend and she asks me for something, a service, I might not want to do it for myself, but I know it's gonna please her that I do it. Or take me out shopping, or walk with me at home, or I feel sick, make me tea. It's just I know that they will be happy because I did those things, but it's not a control thing. Okay, so jealousy, get it out of your systems, and then make sure to think about your actions, because jealousy will make you do some crazy stuff that you might be not able uh, to remove or to correct after. Okay, a lot of murders have been done like that. A lot of bad things have been said because of jealousy, and sometimes it wasn't even justified. And actually, I don't think jealousy per se is justified. I think that it's an emotion that brings the worst out of people. And you know, don't get me wrong, I will get mad and whatnot, but I never once I could say that been jealous about anything, because I realized something. It's just the fact that I can control my own destiny. So if I'm dealing with someone and then they decide that okay they run and ran off to someone else, I can I can look back at myself and say, well, I did the best that I could. Okay, I'm this loving guy. I'm this trustworthy guy. And if that wasn't enough for this person, well, at that point, that's their loss. And let me find somebody else that will love what I have to bring to the table. And if it's about a friend that's more successful, well, I'm happy for them. And also, I'm more willing to ask them, well, what did you do? What steps did you take? Uh, is there something in my behavior that I might be able to change? Could you help me? Or did you have a mentor? And it's all those things that are making us better humans. But being jealous in the corner and then now trying to break stuff, or wish bad luck, or do everything in my power to make sure that that person is miserable just because they're better, quote unquote, than me. It's just silly. Now you step back, and then even you might lose a friend like that. And you know, good friends are very hard to come by. So I don't understand why we should be fighting about some like trivial things like that. I think we should all strive to be better, all strive to maybe to get rich if that's the goal, or to be good looking. And but knowing that, yeah, there's people that might have a leg up, might have an advantage, but um, as long as you do the best that you can, and as long as you try to get the help that you can, also when it comes to push and shove, if someone doesn't want to accept you the way you are, the way you view the world, then screw them. They're not worth it. And you shouldn't be changing yourself for those people. You should be changing yourself for you, because you figure that I want something better in my life. So anyways, so that was the talk about jealousy. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you want any other talks on the different topics, Please make sure to subscribe, comment, and then maybe in the comment section let me know what other topic that you guys want to cover. With that being said, it was the Colonel Clinic, and I'm out.